Before we head into the video, I'd love to give a shout out to the sponsor of the channel, RL Exchange. Now, RL Exchange is a great way to buy Rocket League items and credits on any platform at the cheapest prices so that you can build your dream setup. Make sure to go and check out their website using the top link in the description and use code TXC to get yourself 3% off your order. I'm giving away a white octane every 1,000 subscribers on the channel. All you have to do to enter is drop a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and then finally head over to the Discord using the link in the description down below. The current white octane giveaway does have a requirement that you need to be level 1 to enter, but all you need to do to get level 1 is type like 10 times in general. Good luck to everyone that enters. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video and a start of a brand new Nothing to Something. We have finally finished the Nothing to Alpha Cap, and now I'm going to be doing a much smaller series, but we're going to be working towards the white octane. I have previously done this a few times on my channel, but I just need a little bit of a break from the massive Alpha Cap series. After this series, I will be doing a bunch more of Nothing to Something, but I just sort of want to cool down and do some simple trades and also teach you how you can make some profit along the way. Let's try and hit 200 likes, as this is the first episode of Nothing to White Octane. Hopefully you do enjoy this content. Let me know down below if you would like more. But anyway, let's just get straight in to the first trade of Nothing to White Octane episode 1. I want to make this series as legit as possible, so what I've done is I've played a few games, completed some challenges, and got some rare drops. I'm then opening those rare drops, and whatever items I get out of these is what I'm going to use to trade up to the white octane. So for example, I just got a non-crate very rare, which will sell for around 30 credits on Xbox. I also get a rare out of the next drop, which I probably won't use because it is very cheap and just wouldn't be worth my time if I went and sold it. But I also do get another non-crate very rare, which I can go on to sell for another 30 credits roughly, and then I can use those credits to buy and sell more items and make more profit that way. This is a really good way to start off a Nothing to Something because you're basically not risking anything. The drops are completely free, you don't have to buy them for anything. Any player can get those drops, just complete a few challenges, open them, and you've got to be sort of lucky because you want to get ideally a non-crate very rare or a non-crate import, just because the rares aren't really worth anything. But after about 10 minutes of playing matches, I get 2 non-crate very rares and sell them on for 60 credits. I've basically got those credits for free. As I mentioned, didn't have to spend anything to get those, and then I actually get a really lucky trade here. So I put up a post saying have 60 credits, one offer. This guy gets interested with a black vortex. It is nearly impossible to sell, but it is worth 400 credits on the spreadsheet. So I take it, and even if I do have to quick sell it, I might maybe get 100, 200, 300 credits, but it's a ton of profit and it's going to be more than 60 credits realistically. So I basically cannot lose out on this item. Like I mentioned, it is very hard to sell, so it will take maybe an hour or two to find a buyer, but it's going to be worth it because in the end I find this guy who actually buys it for its minimum value, which is perfect because that is going to be 400 credits. I've got to say, this episode is the best ever start to a Nothing to Something I've ever seen. Now, I don't sell it for pure credits, but I do get a bubbly and 100 credits, and bubbly sells for around 300 credits at minimum value, so that's going to be perfect. That adds up to 400 credits, and also the bubbly isn't as hard to sell as the black vortex, so I'll be able to go and sell that for around 300 credits, and then I'll be on 400 credits already in the very first episode, and more importantly than that, in about 5 trades. So yeah, we've made a ton of progress already. That trade for the black vortex was genuinely unbelievable. I don't really ever see those trades going about, so I think I got very lucky. I made sure that they don't know the channel either. I want to trade with people that don't know who I am so that it is as legit as possible, and also so that you guys can replicate these trades, make some profit for yourself, and build up an inventory, because I'm going to be going to a white octane and it is going to be very easy. It should only take about 5 episodes, so I want to show how easy it is to trade if you know what you're doing, because it is so easy to make profit. At the start of a Nothing to Something, it might also take quite a lot of time to get trades, just because I've got very specific items that not too many people are looking for. It took around an hour to get that bubbly sold, but in the end I do get it sold for its minimum value. This was an unbelievable trade. We're picking up a grey zombie for 100 credits below its minimum value. I also saw that it was tactician, and I didn't think that I'd be able to capitalize on this, but I got extremely lucky. Okay, I searched up on RL Garage how much people were paying for this item, and I made sure to look at how many people were looking for the tactician grey zombie, and I found this guy who was paying 800 credits. Now, That was only his first offer. I might have been able to get more off of him, but 800 credits, I paid 300. That's 500 credits profit off of this item. Again, he doesn't know the channel. I found him on RL Garage. He made the post about half an hour before I looked at it. So I think I got extremely lucky. But 800 credits for a Grey Tactician Zomba. I don't even know if that was worth it, but I'm getting a ton of profit. I'm not really losing out there. So that was genuinely insane. That's probably this is the best start to a nothing to something I've ever seen. Also, I pick up some black OEM. We are underpaying by 200 credits, but this is probably one of the most normal trades so far. I've picked it up for 850 in the past. It's pretty hard to sell, but I can always get it sold for 1.1k. So I'll be getting 200 credits profit on that item as well. I think I got pretty lucky here again because it really didn't take too long to sell this item at all. Maybe about 20-30 minutes, which realistically in these days of trading, that isn't even that long. But yeah, around 20 minutes later, I was able to sell on the black OEM, and I did get 1.1k. At this stage in a nothing to something, when I'm selling my items, I'm either going to ask for basically their minimum value or an item overpay. I like to open myself up to item overpays because if someone doesn't have the amount of credits I'm looking for, but they really want it and they're willing to do an item overpay, I can make even more profit off of that than if I just sell an item for pure credits. I also go back to some methods that I previously used in my Alpha Cap series of buying really high demand items for a little bit below their minimum value and then reselling them for either their minimum value or the middle value if I can find it. But painted standards have always been good to me. They're really easy to sell on, especially the sky blue standard. So I pick it up for 100 credits below its minimum value, and I'm actually going to search for its middle value just because of how high the demand for this item actually is. If I can't find it after like an hour or two, I will drop down to its minimum value, but luckily I was able to find its middle value and therefore sell it on for 550 credits, and that will allow me to get 150 credits profit on this item. Now, if you are looking to trade and make profit off of high demand items, I'd recommend painted Octanes, painted Fenix, painted Standards, painted Zombas, painted Dracos, black OEM, and black Stern. Those are always my go-to items. I can always sell them very quickly for their minimum value at least. If there are some very high demand items such as Octanes or Standards, you could even look to get their middle value. I do get another really good trade here buying the black Interstellar. Now, it has quite a low demand and I use this to my advantage. I basically messaged this guy just saying the black Interstellar is very hard to sell. Can you do 900? I then said 950 and 1000, slowly working up my offer to make it look a lot better, and then we settled on 1000 credits, which is 400 credits below its minimum value, and it took ages. And when I say ages, it literally took over a day to sell this item. I'm not even lying. Usually I hopefully would have got it sold a little bit quicker. I was trading on a weekday here, so that might have been why it was a little bit harder to sell than usual, and it even took so long that I just gave up trying to sell it and worked with some other items for a little bit, including the beach party, which is valued at 400 to 500 credits. Again, very low demand, extremely hard to sell. This guy messaged me saying beach party, and I believe he was already looking for below its minimum value, and that basically just told me that he'd struggled already and he's getting a little bit impatient, and that's why he's trying to sell it below its minimum value. But I just kept on saying like 100 credits, 150 credits, offering pretty low amount, and eventually he actually took it because I could just tell that he was struggling. And that also did tell me that I was most likely going to struggle to sell it as well, but I just listed it up on RL Trading Post, RL Garage, and eventually I was hoping to find a buyer. And I also finally sold on the black Interstellar for 1400 credits. I've got to say, we've made a ton of profit in this video, and as I've mentioned countless times already, this is 100% the best start to a nothing to something that I've ever seen personally. Now, you may think this was a little bit of a stupid idea, picking up another painted Interstellar after I just struggled to sell one, but you've got to remember that I made 400 credits on the black Interstellar, and I am underpaying 200 credits for this crimson one. I did try and underpay by a little bit more. I negotiated as much as possible, but this guy wasn't having it. It was very firm at 800. I thought I'd take it, see what happens, and I've always been able to sell crimson Interstellar for its minimum value, and I've got to say painted Interstellars are really good for profit. Other people struggle to sell them. I struggle as well, but eventually I get them sold and get my profit, so it's definitely worth it for me, and all I've got to do is sell that crimson Interstellar for its minimum value, and I believe it should have a little bit more demand than the black one. I'm not really sure why, because black is a decent paint as well, but crimson's up there as well, so hopefully I should be able to get that sold. And then I also do sell on the beach party for 400 credits, which, as I mentioned, is its minimum value, and that Also allows me to get 250 credits profit on that beach party, which isn't really seen with items that cheap. But after episode 1, we're already over 2,000 credits on our journey to the white octane. Please do drop a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you have enjoyed, and as soon as we hit, let's go for 200 likes, I'll release the next episode of the nothing to white octane. 200 likes is a pretty good goal, especially for the first episode. Comment white octane if you did make it this far into the video. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Me.